Hello. And hello. Are you guys alive? Like, I'm checking in today, not just to make a video, to make sure you guys are okay. Because when I saw it was going to be 104 in Berlin on Sunday, which was now yesterday, I was concerned for your guys' life. And now I'm wondering, how did it go? What's the population now of Berlin? Like, was it 5 million before and now it's... How many do we have left? Just the roaches? That's actually not even funny to say, I guess, huh? Because people might have died, and I sincerely hope not. But this is an extremely dangerous situation that occurred. Also, I also just need to look up the weather. Like, I'm actually very curious to see what's the weather today. Is it over? Let's see. Let's go to Berlin, I guess, because that's where it was 104, which is 40 degrees Celsius. Insanely hot. Thank God it's raining right now, 73. I can only imagine the respite. You know, I think that's the word I'm thinking of. You know, from this hellish heat to have a nice, relatively cool 73 and some rain. Oh, must feel incredible. And a little wind. Oh, that's only 11 kilometer per hour. I thought that would be in mile per hour. 7 mile per hour. A little wind, not much. I'm sure not much is blowing through the skyscrapers, so. But you've got a little bit of... It's still 82. I mean, normally that would be very hot for Berlin, I believe. But now that is really nothing. And it looks like the rest of the week, nothing too crazy. Safe to assume this applies to the rest of Germany as well, I think. But let's go through a few. Yeah, same kind of story in Dresden. Let's just check Munich. 84 today. Pretty hot, but thunderstorms. And then we're in the 70s. I guess I shouldn't be in freedom units entirely. But we're in the 20s. The mid-20s the rest of the week in Munich. So it seems that the worst is behind us, but now I'm curious, how did it go? That's what I really want to know. What happened?
Germany has set a new heat record, and the temperature could go higher as a so-called
41
heat dome is baking Europe. German authorities are warning people to conserve water as the mercury climbed above 41 degrees in some places. Deutsche Bahn, that's Germany's rail service.
41? Isn't that like 106? Oh my gosh, 105.8. Oh my God.
Has even warned people against train travel altogether. And DW's Shristi Pal is our heat reporter today. She joins us from, well, somewhere in or around Berlin. Shristi, where are you? And is it warm there?
Got a little fan. Must have been an excellent business weekend for the fan sellers of Germany. Congrats to you if you own a fan business.
Well, I'm in Berlin, and I'm in the capital, standing right next to the German parliament, the Reichstag. And as you can tell, I'm not holding a mic, I'm holding a fan. It's positively...
In fact, I'm sure there was a supply shortage of fans, so that fan right there could probably go for upwards of 50 million D-marks.
hot, it's scorching, and it's not even the hottest it's going to get, because the temperatures are going to rise to 42 degrees, and that is a record for Germany, and it is
42.
An extreme heat event in the country. And many people outside in the world who come from hotter climates might not be that surprised. I
don't know, that's pretty freaking hot. I feel like I mean, I don't know how hot it gets in the deserts of Africa. I really don't know. But I'm pretty sure humans don't really live anywhere where it gets above 42 on a regular basis. That's not sustainable practically.
I'm from India. That's
even with the AC.
quite normal weather. But here it feels hotter, it feels warmer, and that is because maybe the infrastructure in the country is not really built for these temperatures, and Europe really is feeling the heat right now, and so is Germany.
Talking about the infrastructure here in the studio is working quite well. I'm quite comfortable right now. But how are
Well, I'm glad you are, man.
people coping out there? What are they doing to stay cool?
He just had to rub that into all the people watching at home, huh? And my studio has AC. I feel fine.
It's a mix. It's a big bag of mixes, and people here are rejoicing at the fact that there's a sun out. Some people are really happy, but then there are certain groups of people who are not really coping so well, and these are the vulnerable groups. And I've spoken to some of them, especially unhoused people or senior citizens who are finding this weather really hard to cope with.
That would be me, dude.
I spoke to one such person in the streets of Berlin who said the shelters for the unhoused are completely full. There's not really good conditions. It's not really.
Oh man, yeah, I can't even imagine being homeless in this circumstance. Phew, that's brutal.
Ventilated, and the country is really taking steps to combat this all around.
Now this does look like fun, I'm not gonna lie.
In Germany, you have events that are cancelled, marathon sport events.
I know it's for the kids, but I'd be in there.
That have been postponed. Yeah,
I do love that they're like, hey, conserve water, and then they have this. And I do not blame them.
you find the local authorities, and at the local level, the country is struggling to meet the needs and combat this heat. You don't have enough water fountains that are working, and all around Berlin you find some shady spots, but the infrastructure, the buses, the trains, they're not really holding on well, and it's really hot and rarely is.
Well, I know the buses have AC because the Germans in the freaking video game, when I was driving the bus, they'd be like, turn on the AC, turn it on, I'm hot. So I know the buses have AC.
Anything that is free and accessible to the public with AC and air conditioning.
People are probably just sitting on the bus. They're just not getting off the bus, aren't you guys? You're just riding the bus to nowhere in a loop.
Now,
It's like basically just buying a ticket to air conditioning.
is Germany treating extreme heat as a public health emergency, or is it still just summer weather?
Good question.
Well, it's definitely not just summer weather, because there is an extreme weather warning out there. And the federal government has definitely ensured that there are advisories out there. However, in Germany, the responsibility of the federal government when it comes to combating heat waves is just strategies, policy.
It is kind of funny, the idea of being like, hey, we sent out an advisory. It's like, yeah, it's really hot. Guys, it's like, yeah, we noticed. Thanks for the advisory, though.
Advisories and offering the states and the municipalities funding. And the real responsibility of actually implementing any practical solutions falls on the local authorities. And that is where most of the criticism is pouring in. The opposition and other stakeholders here say that this isn't high enough on the priority list of the federal government, and it's only a topic that is widely discussed when a heat wave comes. And that is clearly a rift that is becoming evident, because local authorities that I spoke to say the funding's always not that prevalent.
All right. Sorry to interrupt her. It's just wasn't that interesting, and I'm kind of curious. This is a heat record, right? But I'm curious, what was the record before this? 42. New record, but what was the previous records? All right, here we go, guys. So, 41.7. 107 Fahrenheit. I have never experienced that. That is astoundingly hot. That was yesterday in Brandenburg. Whew. Shout out, Brandenburg. Congratulations, you lost. 41.5 in Saxony-Anhalt, Möckendreewitz. 41.3 in the Saarland. 41.2 in North Rhine-Westphalia. Now, what I wanted to know was the previous. The previous records were all the preceding 3 days. Oh my God, 3 days in a row. So what about before that? Okay, so here we go. Before 2026. 2019 was 41.2, the long-standing national record. 41.2, which is obviously comparable to all of these. In fact, it is the same as this, 106.2. My guess is that this was much shorter of an event, though. That's the kind of the funny thing about these. Like, you might get a spike to that temperature in one area for a little bit, but like for it to be sustained for this feels kind of unprecedented. That's how it feels to me. Maybe I'm wrong. 2015, 40.3. And 2000. Wow, that's pretty remarkable right there. It's kind of telling, isn't it, that for these 12 years, 2003 to 2015, the temperature more or less was the same. Like, as far as record temperatures, it only beat it by 1/10 of a degree. And this one was during a famous European heat wave. Well, now we've got this 2019 record an entire degree higher, which is a lot in Celsius. You know, that's like 2 or 3 degrees in Fahrenheit. Then the 2015 record. And then that's already been beat a few years later, whereas it took 12 years to beat it by just 0.1 degree. Granted, this was apparently the famous European heat wave, so I guess this one was hard to beat. But now it's just being smashed. That's kind of what I'm saying. Now it's being smashed, you know. Kind of an obvious, unfortunate trend that seems to be accelerating. The 2026 heat wave produced Germany's warmest night on record. 85-degree night. That sucks. That would suck to sleep in 85 degrees without air conditioning. I'm not going to lie. Just trying to acknowledge. Damn. No blanket that night. You might not even sleep in your bed. Just sleep on the tile floor in the kitchen.
And the whole strategy is very fragmented, and the implementation is not really uniform.
Well, scientists say these kind of weather events will increase in frequency. Do you reckon that Germany is adapting quickly enough to a, well, hot...
Oh, I forgot to put it back like this.
...future?
Well, if Germany isn't adapting quickly enough, it definitely has to, and it has to do so quickly, because yes, climate change...
Luckily, when humans are forced to adapt to things, they tend to do it pretty quickly all of a sudden, you know? Before they're forced to, it's like, oh, all this bureaucracy and stuff, and I don't know if we can, you know, and it all moves at a snail's pace. But then once everybody's in scorching 100-degree heat multiple times, my guess is they will move pretty quickly.
Drives these heat waves, and they're going to become more frequent. I also spoke to some people who have lived in Germany for a longer time, and they said the heat and the summer definitely feels different, and not much has been done infrastructurally to prevent us from feeling the heat as much. Most of the country is not suited for these weathers, says the German Environment Agency here, and we've got doctors who are saying they are overwhelmed. They don't have the resources to deal with the overwhelming number of patients who have these conditions that get worse.
It's going to be hard either way. You know, upgrading the infrastructure with air conditioning and stuff is obviously no small feat. But it's like either that or the hospitals are going to be overwhelmed, and then you have a whole different problem. So, and you're hot, you know? So, yeah.
By the heat. Pharmacies and mental health institutions have also been given advisories, but they're also running.
It will be sad though, like if it does become inevitable that you need air conditioning, it will be sad, you know, that whole culture of lüften and everything, and the really cool windows that amazed me so much when I first saw them, and still do amaze me. Hopefully that culture's not lost, you know. I guess you just turn the AC off. Just turn it on for the 2 months out of the year that it's 100 degrees.
At capacity. So it is something for the German government. This is going to be a signal that the local governments are trying to push out the message that heat and global warming are things that can't really be discussed sporadically when they happen, but there has to be a more sustainable solution, because...
And it kind of, I mean, once again, I could be wrong, and I don't know this, but it feels like, you know, like as far as prevention, we kind of failed. Like, ideally, Germany would have never had to deal with this, right? Because as a human race, we would have banded together and stopped global warming. And you guys did a really great job at slowing it down. But as a whole, you know, it just, I don't know if it could have ever been fully stopped, but, you know, we didn't do that great of a job. And indeed, the current United States president thinks it's all a hoax, for instance. He thinks it's not real. Wow. He also thought you could cure COVID by injecting sunlight into your veins and disinfectant. So, you know, he's not very smart.
I think this is not the last heat wave that I would be reporting about, and not the last heat wave we are standing in.
Yeah, you better keep that fan of yours for next year. Thank you very much. Our heat reporter, Shristi Pal, there reporting from the very hot city center of Berlin. Thank you, Shristi.
Well, honestly, I am relieved to see, you know, that while I'm sure this was actually quite devastating for a lot of people and difficult to bear, it does seem like a lot of people did make the most out of it. Go outside, jump in the river, jump in the sea, go dance around the fire hose. I told my grandma not to go out after 8 a.m. I don't even know what's worse, going out or staying in. I literally don't know what would be worse. I guess going out. This is the coldest summer of the rest of your life. Oh. It's an interesting way to put it. Now, they did mention that there's some kind of heat bubble. So it's like, obviously, I mean, anyone can look at the trend and see the global temperatures are going up, trending up. But, like, I do think there is hope that you might get a reversion to the mean, you know? This might have been a particularly hot one for the next few seasons. So it might not be the coldest one of the rest of your life, but I'm taking him a little bit too literally, though. You know, it's definitely... This record will be beat in the next 5 years, I would bet. My son's in Germany said he's never experienced heat like it. I've never experienced heat like it. And I live in Indiana, which is a pretty hot state. We literally took refuge in a hotel room with AC at affordable rate for 2 days. I can't bear the temp, let alone my 6-year-old daughter. That's exactly what I was saying, and exactly what I would have done, too, if I had the option, you know? If I had the option of finding a hotel room with AC, that's what I would have done. And I have literally done that here in the States when my AC went out and it was like 100 degrees out. Yeah, we went to the hotel room. I am curious, you know, since I've been talking about it so much. I keep saying, I've never endured heat that high. I'm wondering, like, what is the record here in Indiana? Let's see. This one's in Indiana, all-time state record, 116. That's pretty damn hot. But that was all the way in 1936. Huh, isn't that weird? As far as by, like, month, let's see, I'm trying to look. Here's the records. Okay, so June, 107, July, 107, 104, 103. Okay, so there you go. It's right around the maximum of what just happened in Germany. So interestingly, we now have pretty much the exact same record temperature here in Indiana. Well, I guess, okay, out of all of Indiana, we apparently hit 114 a long time ago, which is insane. But in recent years, I guess 107. Same as Germany. All right, thank you for watching, guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Try to stay cool. I hope it cools off. Goodbye.